video where I will be painting this self-portrait, but in this video I am just focusing on the eye and establishing a good first layer that reads as a realistic, soft and old mastery kind of eye. So when I start off, I'm starting off with a really thin brush and going for the darkest darks first, trying to bump up the chroma, which is the saturation. So in a lot of old master portraits, I noticed that they tend to have really bright reds in the corner of the eyes, the crease where the eyelid meets the brow bone, which is where I am right here, and also under the eyelash section, which I will get to later. So now is the painstaking process of trying to slowly turn the form. So I am imagining this brow bone kind of as like a soft cylinder that is turning towards the light. So the top of that is going to be the brightest part by the eyebrow, but down here it's a lot more neutral colored and it is really soft. It's not an aggressive sharp shadow, and everything here I am going for softness. So taking like a neutral gray color and slowly getting more chromatic as I go deeper into that shadow. The eye is where everything comes to life. It's the focal point. It's the place where the personality all sets in. I guess in this case it's my personality because this is a self-portrait. So I am slowly building up the depth of it before moving on to the surrounding forms, because I want to bring a face, like I want to make sure it's really dimensional and sings. So really taking my time and slowing down my process here and just focusing on one feature at a time. I find one of the biggest challenges with painting a realistic eye is edge control. The edges should be soft, especially, even where there's parts of the eyebrow, it's not just like one thick block brow fully penciled in. There's individual hairs, there's light catching in between those hairs. It's really about like a play between soft and sharp lines. And also I remember painting this and I just wanted this shadow even darker, but had to settle for first layer, and we'll bump up those shadows even later. This is where patience matters, because rushing, blues and reds and different grays and warms and cools, keeping everything close together in a similar harmonious range, that's what really helps. So now I am ever so delicately putting in the highlight on the eyelid and kind of bringing that out. And for this painting I did, because I turned 30 in November, I want to put in the little crow's feet I am starting to notice. I think that is an important part of a self-portrait. I've been doing self-portraits since I was 21. Like how Rembrandt had so many self-portraits, and even as he aged, they aged with him, and it's like a little photo album. So I do kind of want to give a wink to those lines that come from smiling. And at the time my hair was also pink, which I feel like is kind of my reaction also to getting older. I've always dyed my hair fun colors and I don't want to stop. So even in my 30s, I'm gonna have pink hair. So I always go for a mix of warm and cool grays to keep it neutral, and I like building up the shadow that is from under the eyelid, because I feel like it gives it a lot more depth and dimension. Also with the iris, I think keeping it soft is a really big pro tip. Right now I have it just blocked in as a half hard line, but softening that really adds more realism. Now the dark of the eye, I first put it in as a shadow over the entire iris, because the pupil itself isn't also just a singular black dot, at least in this photograph it's not, so I wanted to just kind of make that look like the whole thing is encased in shadow and it's soft, and that it's tucked behind the eyelid. And I will go back in later and lighten up that iris. This is just the beginning of a painting. The eye, the cheek, the nose, they all come together slowly, layer by layer. As I continue refining, the face will start taking on more presence and more personality. But for now, it's all about trusting the process and letting the painting unfold. It has dried over the last few nights, and now I'm going in and reinforcing some colorful shadows. I want this portrait to have a kind of like overall pink tone to it, to kind of harmonize with the pink in the hair, and have her eyes and nose and cheeks and lips be like a soft blush. My goal for this, because this photo was taken in natural light, I do love painting portraits with really bright, crazy, colorful lights, but sometimes it's just a really nice break to focus on getting the most neutral, soft daylight that I can on a portrait. I find it to be a really fulfilling challenge. Like, as I'm here with the eye, I was initially struggling with getting that color. It came out a little yellowy green, and I wanted it more of a purpley pink, so I had to keep going back in and refining it until I felt like I was satisfied with the color and value that I put down. While you could say I'm trying to get perfection in every tiny detail, I'm mostly trying to create a convincing illusion of depth. For watching this video, I hope you learned something, and if you made it all the way to the end, let me know that you're a true friend by commenting some eye emojis in the comments. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I also have a Patreon with longer format videos just like this. And yeah, if you also like this video, please give it a thumbs up and tell your friends. Okay, bye. See you next time.